Okay, so good morning. Today is November 6th of 2024, and I'll be going over the daily outlook. Yesterday was a pretty interesting day, actually. I didn't trade, but I did follow price action to see where price might likely lead to. So let's just go over that real quick. Um, so right after morning, once we came online, I expected price to draw into these highs. Why? Because we had 15-minute um, 15-minute SMT here. After price swept the highs here, came down to sweep the lows here, price drew higher. Held at this 1 hour order block here, and price drew higher. Once price drew up to this area here, I had expected price to maybe reject that area. I wanted to see price reject that area, but obviously we did not get that over the 10 o'clock macro. I did trade during the 1300 macro though. Again, paper trade, but because obviously I was not going to um, be trading yesterday, uh, given the climate. Um, but again, I did catch this pretty good trade here. Nothing here on the 15 minute, but if you move into the 5 minute, after we drew into this imbalance here, we did not sweep this high here, but we did hold below this block here, um, and once I noticed this, I had expected price to actually reverse here and maybe attack these lows, but obviously we did not get that. So no trade here. We did sweep this low, then attack the highs. But if I was going to get long down here, I would have wanted to to get a sweep of the high or something like that. Actually, one thing I did notice yesterday is a pretty good play. Actually, was this breaker block here. As you can see here, after price closed above it, this huge breaker, uh, actually mitigation block here. Price did hold above this body here, and as soon as the 10 o'clock macro started, it traded into it and immediately drew higher. So that would have been a good trade. But again, it wasn't my setup on the 5 minute or the 1 minute. There was no indication as to what price would do, but it did trade into, obviously I offered institutional order 4-inch drill, and then it drew higher. But obviously, like I said again, it's not my type of entry. It's not something I like. Not unless everything that I want is already up there. Like if I would have seen that here, I probably would have ended up taking it. But obviously, I was not looking to trade yesterday. Um, so, anyways, again, no sweep here. Price drew higher, so no play. Once it got up to this area, buy side had already swept, sell side has swept here, and so this to me became the dealing range right there. So once price did that, I had expected price to maybe draw into equilibrium and even maybe attack sell side, because all of this right here is engineered sell side right here. And if price was going to draw lower, or if price was going to draw higher or lower, I would expect price to seek liquidity at these lows before it decided to continue drawing higher. And so once I noticed this, I had came back for the 1300 macro. I noticed that we drew a tiny inverse here, right? Price closed below the gap here, entered right here into the 1300 macro, and covered into the sweep of this low, which is right below 50% of the range. And I actually held on to one to see if maybe we would go into this area here. And I had to stand through, not pain, because I was already way in the money. So I had to stand through a little bit of time, what is it? Is it time distortion, where price just consolidates. Once price swept this low here, I still held on to it. I probably should have covered it. But what I did is I actually wanted to see price maybe attack one more high and then draw lower. And then once price drew into this mitigation block right here, I actually added one more. And yeah, I added one more. My stop was right above this area here, so a break even really. So I added one more, as you can see, a little below it. And as soon as I added, we started drawing lower, covered one into this low down here, and then I got stopped out on the last one after price closed above this area here. So uh pretty good day. Yeah, pretty good day, so I'm happy with that. Even even during a thing like that, during a climate like that, an environment like that, I was still able to come up with a good trade here. Pretty good setup here actually. We swept buy side here, swept sell side, drew higher, retraced back into equilibrium, and then attacked these highs up here. So this could have been good, but again, I was leaning bearish yesterday because I had expected price to draw into these lows down here, but obviously that didn't happen. So let's go ahead and connect. I do believe we are aggressively higher today, and if we are, then I do expect to remain to be bullish today. But that all depends on how price drew overnight. And I believe, like I said, I do believe we are drawing higher. We do have SMT at the lows right here on the weekly. So these highs, if this SMT holds, these highs are the drawn liquidity. Yep, definitely. That's beautiful. Okay, so in that in that I had really wanted price to draw lower because this inside candle, man. But that's fine. Um, a lot of a lot of crying this morning from the left. But anyways, um, so we already took all of this objective, so no trade as of yet. I jotted down this breaker here, so no longer uh, no longer something I should look at. This, so we have 2 weeks worth of gaps here right now. Uh, I'll have to view this later. Okay, yeah, I'll view that later. I can take this out. So again, the objective has already been met here, so no trade. Let's take a look here. We are still technically up here. Drawing higher. We can't remove this yet because we do have a daily imbalance here, right? So I can't move that yet, at least not until today closes. If it sweeps this high, then I can go ahead and inverse this, right? And then maybe next week we retrace, and then we get that huge move we've been expecting. So today, I will be looking. Actually, wow, for some reason I thought it was Friday. So today I will be looking to see where price closes. I would like it if price closed above here because uh, we did not sweep these lows like I had expected to, but we do have a buy model here. Um, and the buy model to me simply consists of buy side liquidity swept, sell side liquidity swept, three drives right here, continue drawing higher. So now these highs become no drawing liquidity. Uh, and yeah, I mean that's the only thing I can think of on the uh, on the daily. If we close above here, above these bodies, then this becomes a breaker. I can actually, yeah, I can actually remove this. Yeah, then this becomes a breaker. I can move this too, and this becomes an inverse. I'll do it like this. Uh, oh, data. Okay, so yeah, this is now an inverse. So not really to say anything, but um, again, it all depends on how price closes today. Because if price closes up here above all of these bodies, then this becomes a breaker block right here. Mitigation block, we have a run in between, so I do expect price to hold above this candle. This is a mitigation block. This low did not sweep this low, so this to me becomes a mitigation block because we do have a stop in between, a stop run in between. So I will be looking for price to hold above this area here. We took all these highs here, this high here, this high here. I can remove this. Buy side liquidity was swept. No, that's a previous day high actually. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna move it just yet. I'm gonna leave this here in case we draw lower and we hold in that area. I'll just remove this as well. Yeah, I'm gonna leave all of those there. Previous day highs. And Q is the only one that hasn't swept the high. What has YM done? Let's take a look at the 4-hour. 4-hour, we have nothing but displacement actually. On the 4-hour, the only thing I do see is this gap here. Price only traded into part of this wick here. When wicks are as long as this right here, you could see that as you could also see those as gaps. And as you can see here, it drew into 50% of this wick and then drew higher here, about 75%. Here it held at 50%, and so on and so on. So if price draws lower, then I do want to see how it trades around these areas here. I don't think we draw towards these areas. I think the draw and liquidity are the highs, but I think that that retracement that we were looking for is happening right now. I'm gonna leave that there. There's no gap here. I mean, there are no imbalances here. Yep, no imbalances there. So again, I don't see anything here. Let's take a look at the 60-minute. All right. Nothing up here. We do have relative equal highs. And we also have relative equal lows. But again, since my drawn liquidity are the highs, then I would expect price to retrace as low as it wants to and then draw higher. Okay. Not again. All right. Okay. Let's see. Relative equal highs up there. Just waiting on something real quick. All right, here we go. All right, so, Jesus. All right, so relative equal highs up here. Relative equal highs up here. Let me sit down before I throw something at the wall. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Again, relative equal highs here. I do like this right here. We got a stop run before the close. Stop run here. So NQ did draw into 50% of the range. We have this huge order block here. No order block here, but we do have actually nothing here. So I do expect price to maybe draw into these lows down here a little. Let's see here. At least into these. Actually, yeah, let's leave it back. I don't necessarily like this. Let's leave it here. We are above this breaker here, so I would like price to remain up here. So I think ES I would like maybe for one more sweep before it draws higher. We are holding above this gap here, tiny gap, but I don't think that one is the actual one. I think this one is the actual gap right here. So let's make it smaller, and it does fall in line with 50% of this range here. This one, like I said, it already drew into 50% of the range. So let's just draw this in like this. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. I think the 15-minute we already swept buy side, so we need to sweep sell side here. Yep, right here. As you can see up here, we swept buy side up here. So I do think we need to sweep sell side first. So I will be looking for a draw into this area and then to see if maybe price draws higher afterwards. Here we haven't yet. That's SMT. But I'm not bearish. I'm actually bullish, but I'm not looking to trade that way today. In fact, we might even come down and sweep these lows down here. So, decisions. Yeah, it all depends on how price draws. If we come down here and sweep these lows, I do want to see the 15-minute. What I would like to see is I would like an immediate draw lower uh, going into the 9:30 open, and then we get consolidation, and then we get a reversal going into the highs later on. Because outside of that, I can't really think of another reason uh, to even get long up at these highs. Um, so again, I do want to see price take out sell side and buy side. Well, take out buy side and then sell side because we just did here on ES and Q we did not. Um, so if anything, either one of the two, I would like to see a draw into the lows and then a draw into the highs. Let's take a look at YM. And we also have SMT at these highs up here. So that's two-stage SMT between this high, and then this high and this high up here, this high and this high on the hourly and the 15-minute. So if anything, I would watch for this mitigation block right here. We do have a setup there. If price does not sweep this low, then I would like for price to start closing above this area here before it sweeps the high. If it sweeps the high, then no entry, no play whatsoever. Let's take a look at this one. We do have this breaker block, and it looks like it's rejecting just now. So again, these lows are the drawn liquidity. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. It's probably more clearer. Set up here. We do have this right here. I am watching this area. We have let's load this back up. There we go. This is the mitigation block I'm watching. We have a stop run in between this mitigation block, so that's good. So I don't expect these highs to get swept. I wouldn't like to see that, but if we do, then that takes away that trade idea. If we sweep this, if we draw to the highs, I would like to see this high get swept, because again, to me, the drawn liquidity are these here. So I would like to see these lows get swept first, and I think I may take a shot here. But what I would like to see is an immediate draw higher, and then we get that draw lower. My stop would be, let's take a look. Well, we're within the macro right now. Let's do it. I'm trying to get in the inversion here. $34 points. I like how ES is not. All right, so I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take one short there. 718.25. The one thing I don't like is the fact that the stop is about 30 points away. But depending on how this 5-minute closes will tell me whether I should hold on to it or not. Because what I want to see is, I don't want to see price draw higher up here. What I want to see is an immediate reaction, just like how maybe we're getting right now. And if we start closing up here, then I'll just get out. The only thing that's stopping me is this right here. Yeah, I'm gonna take it off. I just don't like it. To me, it's more of an impulsive move. So instead, wait for the actual macro. So I just took it off. Minus 3 points. So nothing really. Um, but again, I right here. Um, so we'll see, because we've had a pretty strong run, and because of that, it doesn't mean that we might draw lower, because what might happen is we draw higher, we displace higher, and then during 10 and 12 o'clock macros, we consolidate and then we get the continuation going into the afternoon session. So I'm glad I took it off. Leaves me less. And the other thing, the other reason why I took it off was because NQ drew into 50% of this range. ES did not. Whenever I see something like that, that means whenever I see something and I'm long and I set up, I feel more confident that price would draw higher. But again, it all has to deal with what happens over the next few minutes here. I think we just drew SMT, so I may actually take a shot here. Nope, no SMT. We did draw into this though. Yeah, I like. If anything, I like ES better. So assume we short there on ES because ES has failed to break above. And ES is trading lower pattern wise. So I would like to take that short on ES. So let's say I jumped in at 3.5. So yeah. And it looks like I might have been wrong on ES as well. Well, again, good thing I did not take that trade. Good thing I took it off. So from now until the 10 o'clock macro, I am off the keyboard. I'm not even looking to participate. Instead, I'm just watching to see how price. YM is also at all-time highs, along with ES, that is. Okay, so now we have SMT. Actually, we don't. Yeah, we do. Right here. Okay. Oh, two. All right, so what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see if maybe price fails to get above. If price sweeps this high, then we're probably drawing towards the highs. But if this high holds and this does not draw higher, then we might be headed towards these lows down here. As you can see, ES definitely was the better of the two. Okay, so I am short. Not the fill I wanted. Just one contract though. Just cause I want to see price draw down here, and almost got stopped, and I just did. Okay. All right, one contract, pretty small loss, but yeah, that's why I would much rather see what happens down here. And this probably could have been the entry here. So I'm gonna remove this. We still have SMT at these highs. Oh, that's actually a better entry. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. All right, so I was looking at some limit orders to see what would happen, but it looks like we're not going to get that. So we swept the high. Well, we did sweep liquidity up here on the daily. Actually, not the daily. Asia session right here. All right, let's play. Everything remains as it is. Previous week high. So now this becomes the drawn liquidity. The previous week high becomes drawn liquidity. So I would like to see what happens here. I'm more interested in in ES as I am in YM. Um, I just like the price action better. This one already swept through the high, so I would like to see some more structure on both of these. Because right now I'm all over the place, and when I feel like that, I am not even thinking about taking a trade. So let's look at it like this. Previous week high there. Previous daily high there, and that's the last objective before it attacks these highs up here. Yeah, it does make logical sense. I mean, we did sweep buy side here. We didn't sweep here. We took out sell side here, drawing higher, and then on the 5 minute we took out buy side, sell side, drew higher. So it makes sense. Really running. So in that sense, we do have this right here instead. And drawing liquidities up here. I'm more interested in this one. This one not so much because we are already way above above this area here. So I am watching to see how this one closes. I would like to see this candle close above here, maybe even above the median threshold of this candle, up close candle up here. Maybe we see this turn into the breaker. Wow, NQ is really taking off. Let's take a look at the 1 minute here. I'm pretty sure there's a nice setup there. Yep, there is. Okay, so again, so buy side here, sell side here. Price retraced, had a change in state of delivery. Price retraced into 50% of this range. And then right here, we had price take out buy side, sell side multiple times into a three drive pattern. Entry right here. Pretty good setup. That's my fault though for not it was more impressive. You when you kind of have into and where the liquidity lays, um, you kind of see the pattern happen and all that stuff, and then you just enter sometimes blindly, and that's what I did today. But as soon as I realized what I was doing, I just went ahead and took that trade off. So with NQ, I don't care where it goes. It could reject immediately, since the objective is already done, or it could consolidate, or it just could continue drawing higher. Uh, so I am watching to see how price develops after every down close candle is drawn. Um, so I am watching this candle here. I would not. I would if price is going to continue drawing higher. I would not expect price to draw down into these areas here. I would like to see price use this candle here as a support. So if we're gonna get continuation, then maybe something like this, and then we get the indication that maybe we're gonna draw towards the highs, but then we come back down, test this order block, and if we do that, then I'm gonna get long. But what I would like is I would like consolidation here. And Q, yes, nothing on the 15 minute. I mean, we did run buy side, we did run sell side here. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. I think we could maybe run a little more. So still watching. But I want to see how the 15 minute closes. All right, let's extend this again. And this one doesn't need anything. I don't need this just yet. All right, so the 15 minutes is about to close. Looks like we might head towards these lows, and if we do, then I'm perfectly comfortable getting long down here. I might even want to look at turtle souping this entry. But I gotta wait 5 minutes. All right, so we are about to sweep this low here. There's SMT at these highs. So I want to see how price draws once it draws into these lows, because it could be, obviously it could reverse and then draw higher, or it could start looking for sell stops, which would be all these areas down here. But I don't expect price to do that. I'm just not convinced in that just yet. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. No, I don't see it. Maybe into this low. Um, but again, we are in a bullish scenario, so there is SMT at the highs now. I mean at the lows, here and here and here and here. So just keep watching. We do have a breaker block here. but I don't like that it already swept these highs. So I mean, we do have a stop run in between, but I would like for price to hold above this area here. Two more minutes until the macro starts, then I'll zoom in. Because this right here looks a lot like this right here. Yeah, we definitely reached the objective on both of these. The hourly looks quite bearish, but let's take a look at the 15 minute. We just hit the new week opening gap. Nothing there, only down here. It hasn't broken this low, so this breaker block still still logical, but this displacement is the only thing that's kind of getting me kind of interested. So I think we are going for a stop run. So this low, because we just swept that low here, is a stop run, it looks like. Let's go into the 5 minute. Yeah, this displacement is kind of interesting. So the next few minutes will tell me a lot, because if this displacement holds, then price will likely close down here during the next 5 minutes. This right here I like for whenever you get a move like this right here. As you can see here, it did not sweep this low and drew higher, but here it did, and then drew higher back into 50% of the range. There's another example where price actually swept that low, well, and then reversed and drew to the highs. So carefully watching. So I'm watching here now how this candle, this right here is a up close candle. If price displaces lower, then what I would like to see is I would like to see a gap get formed in between, and I'll get in on that gap. Um, and then after that gap, I would like to see maybe another up close candle, and then another draw lower. So that's what I'm expecting right now, because this is displacement. But if price is going to reverse here, then I would like to see displacement higher. Yeah, I would like to see price fail to close below here. As you can see, this candle closed above, this closing above. So now what I would like to see is if it's going to draw higher, then I want to see that displacement higher, maybe an institutional order flow entry drill for me to jump in. Because the way it looks right now, that hourly candle is going to close very bearish. Yeah, ES has nothing to give me. This right here is a bearish order block, but there's no gap in between, so I'm not really using that. That is anything. I am seeing here this order block here, so I'm looking to see how price closes here. Is this an up or a down close candle? Down close candle. So this is the order block now. I like how this one is closing as well. Pretty big rejection. This to me looks like a balanced price range. It's balancing itself out before it starts to seek these lows down here. I would like to see this gap remain open. Tiny gap here. Nope, that gap just closed. So right now just waiting. Alright, so the 5 minutes just closed. Let's take a look and see how it closed. No gap, nothing. Still closed above this right here. This one closed above. Alright, still, I don't see anything, no reason to get long or short. And yeah, the hourly candle looks very bearish on both ES and NQ. Three more minutes. want to see how this candle closes though. I like that. Let's see here. Did we sweep? Okay, so we just we're about to close here. It's an up close candle. Let's take a look at the 1 minute here. Yeah, both ES and NQ are gonna close pretty bearish, and there we go. We just closed there. Okay, once we sweep these highs, I want to see how price closes there, and if we do, then I'm gonna get in there. Let's get ready. All right, so we swept those highs. NQ has not. Moment of truth here. I want to see how the candles close. There we go. Oh wait, that's not the actual account. Done. That's the paper account. All right, so I'm long there. Let me take this one off though. All right, so cool. All right, so I wanted to get long here, but obviously did not. So I just put in a couple of market orders here. I'm in with see, I'm in with 10 micros. I just really like this setup. I'm gonna cover 5 as soon as we get 5 points. And I'm not looking to mess around here. If price draws into this gap here, then I'm out, because this to me is a breakaway gap. There we go. So I'm just waiting for those limit orders to hit. Come on, just a couple more ticks. All right, so I'm out on 5 there. So now the rest is just gravy. I'm not looking to overstay my welcome today. This move is just too big. So now my stop is down here. Um, but I'm gonna try to catch up all the way up to these areas up here. I do like this displacement lower, but I do believe that the drawn liquidity is a higher because we had buy side swap first, then sell side. That's why I like ES more than I like NQ. NQ could do whatever it wants, but at least with ES, I want to see price close above here. I want to see it close above this gap here, and if it does, then everything's gravy. And if I get stopped, then that's fine. At least I'm out on half, so I have a cushion in case my trade goes against me. It needs to get above this old low though. So it can go as low as here. And E and Q just drew into 50%. So they're both at 50%. You know what I'm going to do? Let's see how this one closes. I don't want price to come down here anymore. All right. Just waiting on a little more aggressiveness. What I'm trying to do is add. There we go. Okay. All right. So I added back those 5. Now I just want to see price close above this candle. I mean this gap here. And my stop is down here, which is fine. That'll put me back at a loss, but I'm actually happy with the trade. Almost got stopped there. I want to see price close above this new week opening gap. Couple more seconds. Here we go. Yeah, my stop was right here. Uh, I need price to get above consequent encroachment here. If if price just starts consolidating, I'm just going to take the trade off because we are about 1 minute away from there. So I'll just take it off if we don't get that move I want to see. See, I don't like that reaction. Come on. There we go. Close above. Beautiful. All right, so now I have my orders here set to cover at 5 points. Oh my God, just a few more ticks. Beautiful. All right. All right, so I'm out of 5 points there. So now the rest is gravy. So now I am in the driver's seat. My stop is down here. My average is 14, which is right. No, that's wrong. Oh yeah, it is 14. Yep, right here. So yeah, my average is up here. I actually added here, which brought my average down, and then I covered into 5 points up here. So now the rest is gravy, and now I'm just in the driver's seat. I'm gonna cover one into 50 points, into 10 points. All right, so I got the again, my stop is down here. I've already made 5 points off of that, off of 10 contracts. Now I'm holding on to 5 points. And again, the rest is just gravy for now. I just don't like how it's not displacing. Uh, this is the breaker. Let's take a look at the standard deviations. Okay, so it did hit 20%. I mean 2R. I would like to see price displaced through here. If it doesn't, then it's likely going to just either seek these lows or just consolidate here. Let's take a look at YM and Q here. And Q is rejecting the midline here. Um, if price breaks below the lower portion of this range here, then that'll tell me that price is likely to not draw towards the highs. What I want to see is up close candles, but I want to see up close candles close above the midline up here. Still got that limit order up here. Just one contract into 10 points, and then the other ones I'm going to cover up here. And finally, maybe the last few if I have any remaining up here. Pretty nice model here if obviously price draws higher. And the model I'm talking about is, where is it? I'm trying to bring it up. This one right here. This one. Buy side swept, sell side swept, draw higher, draw higher, right here. If you look at the 30-second, you'll see here that buy side swept here, then sell side swept, drew higher. But I need to see price get above this area though. I like how here price closed above this median line, so it could possibly come down here, but I don't want to see it come back down. Looks like picking up speed. I'm like one tick away from, a few ticks away from covering that 10 points. Come on. I just want to see that one limit order get filled, and then I'll go ahead and call it, and then leave the rest for a stop at break even. Come on, just a little more. Maybe when I don't look at it, that's when it actually tends to work my way. There you go. All right, so I'm out there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave my stop here. It's the most, yeah. Where is it? There you go. So this is the breakaway gap here. I almost got stopped right here. So I'm good. I'm good. You know what? That'd be about 17 points. 29.50 there. And then obviously another one up here at this high here. 41.25. And then lastly, these up here. Wow. Definitely like the executions and exits today. But if price is going to continue drawing higher, what I want to see is I want to see price slice through this area here, 2R and 5R. I need to see it slice through here. Come on. Jesus, just like to all right. Uh, well, my plan stays the same. I want to cover one more here, and then the rest up to these highs if these highs get drawn into. My stop right now is break even, which is about right around this area here. Um, Pretty good day today. Very happy that I entered with 10 contracts, covered 5 points, added here, had my stop here, almost got stopped out. Um, Covered 5 more into these areas here. Left me with 5 contracts, covered uh, one into 10 points here, and the rest I'm covering here, this high here, and the Asia and London highs. I mean the New York Open and the New York high, as well as Asia was already sub, as well as the London high for my final objective. So how many contracts was that? 15 contracts in all. Very happy with my executions and plan. For a moment there, I did think that price was going to draw lower, but because this seemed like a balanced price range to me. Oh, okay, that contract was just taken off. So I'm left with 4 contracts again. Objectives here, here, and here. Finally, very happy with today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you tomorrow.